Well, hopefully this works with the internet connection that I have. We'll see if anybody joins. Custom emojis. Oh, jeez. Oh, there's a YouTube one. I could always chat with myself. Pretty short announcement for going live, so I shouldn't be surprised if not many people show up. Time is it? Oh, 7:02. Oh, there's somebody. What's up? Not sure how many people will join. I gave kind of short notice on this. It's going pretty good. I did have a crash earlier that kind of sucked, but nothing that can't be solved with ibuprofen. How about you? Did you go biking today? Is that what you said? Oh no, GS biking. What is GS biking? Oh, it's your initials. Oh, okay. So it's not like a company or anything like that. Cool. Hello, somebody else joined. So I'm basically did this spontaneously for a couple of reasons. One, I want to test my network out here and see if it even works for going live. And two, if anybody has questions, just ask away and I'll answer them about most of my content, living out here, Cuyuna, Sobriety. Oh, you did some solar panels. Cool. For what? Oh, 250 watts. So you got 100 watts total, I'm assuming. Favorite trail? I would say it's probably Winds. I keep riding that one because I like the jumps on it. Um, and it's doable for me for my skill level. So that's the video I just did yesterday. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And that's here in the Cuyuna. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's short. It's, depends. So for me, it really depends on what I'm out to do, but I like to jump. So that right now is my favorite. But if I was to just go out and ride cross country and do that kind of ride, I actually would go back into the cities and ride Theodore Worth. I really like that trail. Yeah, yep. So when you're running solar, I'm assuming it's for an RV. Did you say it's enough to run the 12-volt system of the RV off the 12-volt battery? But that's it. Um, Heat, AC. I have a microwave in mine that works only when I'm plugged in. I actually got electricity today though, so my trailer's plugged in, so I can do all that. So my plan for my property is to build a house eventually. It's funny you asked. I'm going out of order here. You just asked if I've been to Tioga. That's where I went today, and that's where I crashed. So I went on a trail called El Jeffy or something, El Jeffy, and it has this big rock over. I'll put up the video tonight. I gotta create it, but I went over this rock over, and as I was coming over the backside, the rock was off camber, and my handlebars, like, because it was off camber, my bike wanted to go that way, and I was steering this way to go straight, and my stem moved in my handlebars. I heard it. It went, and then that was it. I crashed. So I haven't had a stem move like that before, and when I went to straighten my bars back, the bolts weren't as tight as I normally have them. So note to self, check my stem bolts. I don't think I would have crashed had my bars not moved. I mean, I might have put a foot down or done something like that, but I don't think I would have crashed. But the injuries are pretty minor. I just got this scab on my knee. I smacked it pretty good, and it hurt for like a half an hour, and then it started to feel better. Of course, I just kept riding because I feel like when you, especially where your joints are, as long as they're not like badly injured, you kind of ride through it and keep the mobility. Otherwise, it gets really stiff. And then when I got back, I took some ibuprofen, so I feel fine now. Yeah, I didn't catch that. When you hop off and what? I find when I hop off, I turn my bar. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's actually a good idea if you can hop off to the side instead of straight over the bars. So let's go back to the plan for my property here. So I do plan on building a house on it. Until then, I'm living out of the camper, and the camper uh, you can't really. I mean, you can be in it in the wintertime, but you don't have any water or anything like that. So, but I can plug in and I can use the heat and things. So it'll be interesting. I don't think my house is going to get done by wintertime. Things seem to be really delayed with the pandemic and supply chain and all that stuff. So it's probably going to get done in the springtime. So if I come up here in the winter, I probably will. We'll see. I actually don't know what I'll do. I haven't really thought about it too much. I might store my trailer. I have a few friends that have places up here, and I might just stay at their places. Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about campers. This is my first one. I'm gonna say no, not for Minnesota winters. I mean, Minnesota in January and February, we get single digits, sometimes even below zero, and I just don't think that the camper can handle that. Yeah, I have huge piles of wood because they had to do this clearing that I'm in. Here's the clearing. So all the trees that were in here got cut down, and I can't really turn the computer that way, but there's two gigantic piles of wood back there. Yeah, I don't know if spray foam would look very good. Hi, Paul. You weren't that late. I'm assuming people will come on and drop off. So any more questions, writing questions? Um, I announced my sobriety stuff the other day. That's coming up, my 5-year sobriety date. And then, yeah, anything about newbie at the RV life. So maybe you guys can teach me a thing or two. But I'm probably not going to spray foam my RV. 1,000 cans of spray foam. Messages. On my property, I'm probably actually going to build lines. So because the way the topographical situation is here, it's kind of high on one end and lower on the other. So I'm going to have like a starting area, and there'll just be like multiple jump lines. I might even put up like a starting ramp because it's really hard to get up speed just pedaling. So if I had a starting ramp, like a Sam Pilgrim style one, that might help. So back in Minneapolis, I have my storage unit and the place that I'm living there. So that's where all my bikes are. I'm not going to specify anything about what I do with my bikes while I'm on my property for security reasons. But they are locked and safe. The lines will be so as the start, and I don't know if you watched my older videos of kind of what my layout of my land looks like, but it's narrow up front, about 75 feet. And as you go towards the back, it gets wider and wider and wider, and it gets up to about 300 feet. So the lines probably won't be super long. I mean, it depends on what line I make, and if I want to put some berms and jumps, I can make them a little longer. I'm going to say, definitely shorter than, say, a BMX track or something. And what I might like to do is create options. So you drop in from one place and, maybe there'll be 2 different or 3 different jump lines that you can take. And then somewhere in there, I want to put like a single, I've been considering getting an airbag, but they're expensive. I'm finding out they're like around $7,000 for an airbag lander. So I might just build like a wooden step up landing and put resi on it or something. I actually have talked to my neighbor about building trails. He is buying a mill apparently, and he's an arborist. I don't know that much about that stuff, but we did talk about just doing some of the simple stuff first, which is take a chainsaw and shave off the top of a log and turn it into a skinny, put little cuts in it for traction, things like that. But once he gets his mill, yeah, we're talking about putting in some features. Maybe put in a teeter, some skinnies, some elevated fun things. I'm not a big North Shore type rider, but I like some of that stuff. Maybe even more trials kind of obstacles. So, spray myself a big foam landing. I can't read that. Well, I don't know why the print is so small. Oh, like the hat. Yeah. This is Deity. Here's the thing about me, which I have never talked about. I do not like to have brands that I don't actually ride. Like, so if I buy a Deity hat, it's because I have some Deity products. And I do have the handlebars on my dirt jump bike. That's really only Deity. Then I'm like, okay, I can have the hat. But you won't see me like wearing like, a Trek hat or something, or a hat of some brand of something that I don't own or that I don't ride or something like that. That's always been my thing. Back in my BMX days, I'd see people wear like, red line shirts or something. It's like, you don't even own a red line. What's up with that? Like, so it's one of my pet peeves. Same with stickers. Like, I won't stick stickers on things unless it's like stuff that I actually own or ride. Cool. So today I did go up to Tioga, mention that. And I had a crash, but it wasn't anything super serious. Just got a scab on my knee. But I did ride after that. I rode mostly the green trails, and I found the big jumps. I believe those were all built by a guy named Adam Buck. I keep forgetting the name of that company. And then I found the little playground area that had all the skinnies and little mustache rollers or whatever you call them, and that place looked really cool. But for some reason, it was all red taped and closed off, and you couldn't ride any of it. And I don't understand what's going on there because it didn't look like anything was under construction. So I'll edit that video once I'm done being online here, and you'll get to see first person chesty footage of my crash. Any other questions? How many people do I have on here? 3? Smoking numbers. Almost to 1,000 subscribers. Oh, I think we might have 4 on here. I actually thought it was going to take longer to get to 1,000 because I don't really make that fancy of videos, but I think a lot of people like the realism or the fact that I don't get all fancy with everything. I don't even know how, really. It's like I'm using Premiere Pro and having to learn everything with Premiere Pro. And then I found out that a lot of these effects that you'll see, like I wanted to show me landing, and I think I cased the jump or something like that. It was kind of a really bad landing, and I wanted to put like an explosion on there. And so they had this explosion graphic, and then I realized you had to go pay for it. Pay for the graphic. I was like, what? Why am I going to pay for the graphic? Oh, you just called me out on the no knee pads, dude. So Yeah, it's all in my video once I edit it. But when I started, I was at my truck and my knee pads were right there. And I rode my Esker because I knew Tioga had some really red and black trails, but I wanted to ride around on my Esker first and, check out the trails and scope them out. And since that bike's a lot lighter and quicker, it's easier to get around. The Ripmo AF is pretty heavy and hard to climb with and stuff. So I grabbed my Esker. I was like, I don't need my knee pads. I'm not going to ride anything. And I'll have to find out in my video, but I believe I actually said that in my video. If I didn't say it, I certainly thought it. And then I went out and I went up to the top where there's kind of a top area, and then you can branch out on other trails. And I got on this one green loop. I don't remember the name of all the trails. And then on that green loop, there was this El Jeffy trail, and it was a black, but it was just a single black. I was like, oh, I can do a single black, no problem. No knee pads. Yeah, I made a stupid decision because had I been wearing my knee pads, that crash wouldn't have been nothing. I would have crashed. It wouldn't have hurt at all. Those knee pads would have totally protected me. I mean, I might have felt the impact, but I wouldn't have felt any injury or pain. And I would have just been fine. But I didn't have my knee pads on. So lesson learned. Yeah, I only wear knee pads when I don't crash. Isn't that the truth? What would you say is the most important skill for BMX riding? I have ridden for a long time, but not BMX. What is a good way to start? Well, didn't I do a video on it? There's actually 3 primary skills, and I think all mountain bikers should have those skills. First one, they're all related. First one, pop up the front wheel. Not ride a wheelie, not pedal and ride a wheelie, but pedals flat, pop up the front wheel and set it back down. Not manually neither, just that's skill number 1. Skill number 2 is being able to do the same thing with the back wheel. So you push forward and jump up and get the back wheel to pop off the ground. And then skill 3, combine the 2 and do the bunny hop. So you pull up, front wheel, then back wheel, and then land. And the reason why those are such key skills is because they teach you what I call pitch control, how to have the bike angled with your body movement. And I've been talking about that row, anti-row thing a bunch. So you're able to pull the bike and pitch it this way and push the bike and pitch it that way. And once you have that down, you pretty much, it's kind of like in skateboarding, the ollie is kind of the primary skill to have if you want to move into all these other things. And BMX would be the bunny hop. Yeah, I used to carry a first aid kit. I don't really, when I'm just out riding. I was on the bike patrol. I did quit doing the bike patrol actually just like 6 months ago. But yeah, I should have a little first aid kit, but most of the trails that I ride, you're not out there for very long and there's always ways out. I think if I was to go on a big, long, epic ride, which I'm considering maybe doing this week, up in, what is that, Tofty to what is that trail called? Jackpot. Then I would probably want a first aid kit. Yes, Pathfinder trails, yeah. Oh, is that what it is? Insurance issue? Now my network's gone. Am I back now? Looked like my network was getting flaky. I was kind of worried about that. So Pathfinder is the company. I didn't realize they were having insurance issues up there. That's kind of a bummer. I hope they get that sorted out. I find it interesting because usually when you're dealing with state or federal or even city land, there's lots of protections where you don't really need insurance. It's usually only if you have like a private facility that they need to worry about it. The back wheel